Take your pick. Start telling us about some of these guys. I don't care which one, Breanna.
Dan, it's so disgusting, and thank you for having me on as
Sure.
always. It's so disgusting and infuriating because he, like you mentioned, did this right before Christmas. But it's not just that that's got me really enraged right now. What's really got me upset is the fact that so many people in the media aren't covering what happened. So specifically, let's talk about these cases. One individual is a convicted cop killer. He admitted to it too. There's another one who is an MS-13 gang leader who executed two individuals, and he was sitting on death row. He was actually the first MS-13 member to ever be sentenced to death here in the United States. He just saved him. There's also an individual, and I'll spare your audience of the vile details, but kidnapped a woman, taped her to a tree, did horrible things to her sexually, and then shot her in the back of the head. That individual admitted to the crime, and Joe Biden just saved his life. The crimes get even worse. A lot of these individuals, while they were incarcerated for other crimes, they killed other inmates and stabbed officers, correction officers in the prison. So they were sentenced to death. Joe Biden just saved them. But what's been flying under the radar, too, is the fact that there was an individual who is a Chinese national who was caught with 47,000 child pornography images on his devices. And Joe Biden gave him clemency, ultimately freeing him and trading him back to the CCP for 3 other Americans who were being held captive by the Chinese Communist Party. 2 of those individuals were accused of being spies for the United States, and one was accused of drug trafficking. So Joe Biden traded that individual over, plus other CCP spies, to China. So many people aren't talking about these things because number one, the White House has done a great job of burying them. I had to go through the list of 37 of those individuals who are on death row, and the more vile ones are at the bottom. And so most journalists aren't even looking at this, and they're not even detailing it. I sat here and listened to a report be given out, and it sounded like Joe Biden was doing society a great deal, a great good deed, and it was horrific to hear. But yeah, they were talking highly of him doing this like this was a humanitarian issue. And the families, we haven't heard from the families. I'm sure they're horrified as to what happened. Yeah.
This is what your sitting United States president, okay, just gave clemency to, and commuted sentences from death to life in prison for a man who murdered those 4 innocent human beings. I want you to think about that. Just burn those images into your mind. And then when you think about the Biden-Harris legacy, here's another horrific part of their legacy.